This is lesson 13, part 2. So you can read the problem. It says graph the equation by finding the intercepts. So we first have to find the intercepts. Here's the equation. So we go 0 for the x and 0 for the y. So if we let x be 0, that means v equals v 160 minus 32 times 0, which would be 160 minus 0. So y would be 160. Then I'm going to let y equal 0. So y equals 160 minus 32 t. I have to subtract 160. Subtract 160. And we get negative 160 equals negative 32t. Divide by negative 32. So t equals 5. Okay, so I'm going to erase my work so I can do my graph. Well, since I'm talking about a rocket being shot up in the air, v is feet per second, t is seconds after blast off. It says plot t on the horizontal axis, which is this way. So t would be my x. Plot v on the vertical axis, which would be my y-axis. But what we see is we don't need any negative values. So for my graph, scroll up just a little to have on my graph here. So this can be my 0. And then I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this would be seconds. And this is velocity. In feet per second. Alright, so I've got to go all the way up to 160. So if I went 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, I still don't have enough. So what if I go by 20s? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. Well, that gets me where I need to go here. So I'm going to say 50, which would be right here, and 0, 160, which would be right here. Connect them with the line. Remember my line. Well, I did pretty good that time. Interpret the v-intercept. So here's the v-intercept. At 0 seconds, the velocity is 160. So at 0 seconds, the velocity is 160 feet per second. Interpret the t-intercept at 5 seconds. The velocity is 0 feet per second. So if we're talking about a rocket, this was at blast off, and this was at the end on the ground. Alright, let's see what's next. Doing it again. Alright, Connor's driving on the interstate 40 to California. Once he has passed Oklahoma City, he sets his cruise control and drives at 70 miles per hour for the next 5 hours. In the following table, X is the number of hours after he set his cruise control and Y is his speed. So, at 1 hour, he was driving 70 miles per hour. And drives at 70 miles per hour for the next 5 hours. X is the number of hours after he sets his cruise control, and Y is his speed. So 2 hours after he sets his cruise control, he's still going 70. After 3 hours, he's still going 70. Same thing. 5 hours, he's still going 70 miles per hour. Be sure to label the axis and use words. Okay. So, again, we're not going to have any negatives, so this is going to be, X is going to be hours after cruise control. That's terrible. Maybe if I make it smaller. There we go. So, hours after cruise control set. So if this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Y is his speed. So we're going to say Y, speed, S-P-E-E-D. And I'm going to go by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So an hour after he set his cruise control, he was doing 70 miles per hour. 2 hours after he set it would still be 70. 3 hours would still be 70 miles per hour. 4 hours would still be 70 miles per hour. And 5 hours would still be 70 miles per hour. Do you agree that these points are collinear? Do they make a line? Are they all on the same line? Yes. Draw the line through these points. Yes. How would you describe this line? Horizontal. Is it ever going to cross the x-intercept? Or the x-axis? No. So there is no x-intercept. What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is 70. which would be 0, 70. What is the equation of the line? Well, if we remember, we have a horizontal line. Remember Buck's boy? Oops, that's a Y. Horizontal, Y equals equation. So it's going to be Y equals 70. What is the domain and range? The domain is all real numbers. And the range is Y equals 70. Alright, this one we make a scatter plot. Be sure to label each axis. So we're going to put distance in meters and time in seconds. So I'm going to make this 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100. And I'm going to make this scraggly 9 point 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5, 9.6, 9.7, 9.8, 9.9, and 10. So 100, 969 would be right here. 109.89 here. 991 here. 93, 95, 97. So do you agree that these points are collinear? Yes. Draw the line through these points. So there's my not so straight line. How would you describe the line? Vertical. What is the x-intercept? Well, it's going to cross at 100, 0, and there is not a y-intercept. What is the equation of the line? Buck's boy. V is vertical, so it's going to be an x equals equation. X equals the x number, which is 100. And on an x equals equation, the domain is x equals 100, and the range is all real numbers. I believe that's the end of this one. We will talk about questions and such in class.